Today I'm here to bestow some wisdom upon everybody watching it and really sharing some of the greatest ideas that have ever been thought of in the history of the world. And what these ideas are going to be targeted to is none other than the game mode Vanguard Zombies. And the reason we're going to talk about this is because, as I'm sure anybody who has come anywhere near this game mode knows, is that it's not in a great place, and the main thing people have been calling it is bare bones, and that's because it really is as bare bones as it comes. Like, it does not have much going on there. And so what I thought I'd do is, as I mentioned, share some of my great wisdom on how to save Vanguard Zombies. And with that all said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So I actually want to break this up into two different sections. One is going to be what updates they could do to Vanguard Zombies, like right now, some realistic updates they could do right now to make it at least more better for it currently. But then after that, we'll get into things that are going to take a while to develop, and like some major content stuff, like things that are going to happen when season 1 and a little bit even season 2. And the one I want to talk about first is going to be the things they could do right now to make Vanguard Zombies better. And I think this list should start off in a very obvious place, but what they should do is most definitely buff the weapons. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous how bad all the guns are outside of a shotgun and a submachine gun maybe that you throw in there, but like, they're just so bad, and I just don't really understand how this was okay to launch at this date, because like, did no one test this game past round 13 to realize that, hey, the rest of the guns are useless outside of a shotgun? Like, I don't know how this exactly happened, but regardless, the guns just need a buff. And on top of that, I think we need a buff to regular body shot damage too, because if you aren't landing headshots in this game, you're probably not going to be killing zombies, so we also need a buff there. But overall buff to almost every single gun in this game will actually make this game a lot better, and a little bit, more to do there, because you're not stuck with just using one gun, and you actually use multiple different guns if there's multiple guns that are good, especially snipers though. Like, oh my gosh, plus anybody's soul who's even attempted to play this game mode with snipers. Like, I couldn't even imagine. The next one is something that really shouldn't have not been there, but we need a pause feature back. Like, just do that. Like, sure, maybe we don't need it for co-op right away. That should eventually get here though, but at least solo, like, that has always existed in the history of zombies. This is the first time ever, so just add that thing back. The next thing is add a pack punch camo. I know people are saying it's going to come in season 1, but this has to happen before season 1. Like, this doesn't really affect the gameplay in any substantial way, but it really does affect how people feel towards the game, because when you take out a feature that is like so set into the zombies game mode and just left out, it just gives off the feeling that the developers aren't putting enough effort into this, or they just don't care. Now, I'll never say that about Treyarch, because I know the situations they've been put in order to make this, but it doesn't change the fact that's how most people feel about it, and this is something that I think they just need to add in before season 1. The next thing we need is a buff to XP in general, but especially weapon XP in zombies. Like, we do this every year. Weapon XP sucks in zombies. We complain about it. They buff it. It's the same old story that goes over and over again. And yeah, we need this, especially because all of these XP caps that have existed inside this game mode currently is just not really cool. So we just need an XP buff, because we just don't get a lot of XP playing zombies, and the only way to get a lot of XP is super cringe, and I don't like doing it. Then the final thing that we want to talk about that they need to do before season 1 is kind of both having to do with the Dark Ether grind and the camo itself. First, the grind. I think that the kill challenges should be nerfed, because it just takes way too many kills to do. You need 4,000 kills with the gun in general, and also 4,000 kills while the gun is pack-punch. This makes no sense because nobody had a problem with the 2,500 kills you needed from Cold War to get these exact same camos challenges done, but for some reason they buffed it by 1,500 kills. And if anything, really, they should have nerfed it in this game mode because we don't have round base and zombies spawn a lot slower. Like, for example, if you want to get 4,000 kills in one game, you're going to have to play to round 100 for 6 hours. So I think it's a bit ridiculous how high the kill count is, especially without a round base mode. So this needs a huge nerf, if anything, because it's just ridiculous the amount of zombie kills we need in order to get these challenges done. But now the other part of this is the Dark Ether camo itself. It's fine, you know, the camo, it just needs a buff. Like, it looks fine. It's not an ugly camo, but like, it just doesn't feel like a mastery camo, and I feel like if they just simply made it glow, it would be better, like, to be completely honest. If they simply just made the camo glow, it would just make it at least a little bit cooler, you know? But anyways, just do something to make it look better, because it's just not it right now. But now we're getting into some major updates that are kind of more focused on the content that we experience instead of, you know, things that we've already mentioned. So these things are going to probably not going to even realistically happen till season 1 or maybe even season 2 in some of these cases. And the first thing that I think we need to go over is having more map locations for the Ranfang. I know people just want to throw the Ranfang out a window and just give us round base, which fair enough. If they end up doing that, I wouldn't complain. But if they are going to focus on the Ranfang, they need more map locations, and they most definitely need more objectives, because only having 3 and they're not really that unique, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one right there. So you know, either way, I think that this is something that definitely should be addressed if they plan to continue updating the Ranfang. Other things that should be added in season 1 is a wonder weapon. I kind of want to say that this should have happened before season 1, but honestly, I just don't think it's very realistic. So I think that we need a wonder weapon added to the Ranfang, or again, if you want to ignore the Ranfang, go ahead and just make us a round base, but you know, at least do that. Another thing, again, still focusing on the Ranfang, side objectives. In Outbreak, they weren't there at launch of Outbreak either, but later on we got the gold crate side objective, the order boss fight, and stuff like that. Like, we should have stuff like that here again, because it just will make it easier to get set up and stuff like that, and just more rewards and easier to get salvage, because that's something that barely exists in this game mode. So stuff like that would be nice. And then we have side Easter eggs. Like, the Ranfang does not even have side Easter eggs, not even an Easter egg song or anything like that. So to add some side Easter eggs, that would make it a little bit nicer. And finally, and probably the most important thing about season 1 and the updates that need to happen at least sometime during it, is that we need a main Easter egg in season 1. And the reason I stress this is because currently right now the plans that we were told is that the main Easter egg is not happening till season 2. Which is a bit ridiculous, because season 2 ain't gonna happen till February. So if we do have to wait for that, we would have to wait with a the Ranfang without a main Easter egg from November, December, January, and finally February. 3 months without no main Easter egg to grind. Like, what? This is unacceptable, to say the very least. So we most definitely need to push up the date. I don't know if it's realistic based on the funding and that this game mode is currently getting, or the support, or the manpower, whatever it may be. But if they want this game mode to succeed, they really need to push up the timetable here, and a main Easter egg for the Ranfang needs to come out in season 1, not season 2. But speaking of season 2, I think that this is the absolute latest we should get a round base map. Like, if we don't get a round base map by season 2, again, which is going to start in February, but it doesn't have to be at the launch of season 2, it could be season 2 reloaded, just sometime during season 2, we need a round base map. Because, like, I mean, sure, people have liked Outbreak in the past, and, you know, the Ranfang is supposed to be the successor to Outbreak, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't imagine their numbers are great on the Ranfang right now. And like, round base really is what zombies is. Don't get me wrong, I like when Treyarch tries something new and try to evolve the zombies game mode, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, they're on Fog just ain't doing it right now. So just go back to what works, you know? I feel like that's not something that is too controversial. Just make round base again. Like I think that's just something they should focus on, to be completely honest. And if they did that, and if we at least get a round base by season 2, and it is actually a good round base map, I think that potentially we could have a chance to have a decent comeback for Vanguard. Like literally everything else I've mentioned here, like whatever, you know, if that happens, it'll be fine, it'll be good. But honestly, I don't even think everything else I've mentioned here would make this game even appealing to maybe 5 more players if it doesn't get a round-based map. Because right now we just need a round-based map, and we need it much sooner rather than later. But regardless, that's kind of wraps it up for this list. I'd love to hear what you guys think of my list here of the things that need to happen in order to save Vanguard Zombies. I mean, there was another thing I was going to mention for the overall season, which I mean, I just wasn't going to mention, but I'm going to mention it now anyways, is that I do think that at the very least we need 4 round-based maps when it's all said and done in order to make this season even worth mentioning, because currently right now people aren't even like acknowledging the existence of it. So that's another thing. But regardless, I'm getting kind of caught up on things that I cut out of the video but brought back. But regardless, I'd love to hear what you guys think Treyarch needs to do in order to save Vanguard Zombies. Are there things I missed, or do you agree with some of the things, disagree with some things on my list, or anything like that? I'd love to hear all those thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. But regardless, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to go. I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be, and laters, guys.